Hello, and welcome to Ferrites. So, I've been a scientist for decades, and I've very recently become a knife enthusiast, as in maybe the last several months. So, this video today is going to be a video documentary of me learning, experimenting, maybe an experiment on myself, with using some new to me pocket knives in the context that most of what I've handled in my life have been pretty basic pocket knives. Quite honestly, I didn't realize how much is out there or how deep the rabbit hole goes. So what I've got is I've got several of my older knives with me, and then I've got a package that we're going to get into in a little bit where I acquired some new knives, but I haven't opened it yet. I'm kind of excited to see what we've got in there. I mean, I know what's in there, but I've never handled those particular pocket knives. So, couple housekeeping things here. Remember, I'm a scientist first, and only now becoming a knife enthusiast, so I got to talk about this the way a scientist does. I've got some things here to kind of keep me calibrated on the desktop. We got across the top a tape measure in inches, and on the right hand side here I've got a ruler that, oh my gosh, I've had this thing since I was in grade school in the 1970s, but it's an aluminum ruler introducing kids of the 1970s to the metric system. And for scale, I've got a AA battery here and a aluminum bolt lock pen, and this is a small Olitans folding scalpel that I recently purchased, and I'm sure I'm going to make some videos about that thing because I'm having a lot of fun with that little knife. And it's not the most popular of things out there for most of the knife enthusiasts, but in the things that I do day to day, it turns out it's really handy. All right, so the other thing that I've got with me is kind of three knives that have carried me through certainly the last decade. I've got this little Gerber folder that is a liner lock, and mostly what I'm doing here is this is a bit of a calibration phase for me because I carried this thing for, I mean, more than a decade, and you can see the pocket wear on it, and I kind of thought, oh, this must be the pinnacle of knives, and or at least for everyday carry. Then a few years ago, I decided, I would say 4 or 5 years ago, to upgrade myself, and I got a Kershaw Blur here, which is something that I purchased. It's in the blade steel that's referred to as 14C28N. But I can tell you when I bought it, I just was looking for something that was a pretty decent knife, and I thought, wow, $100 knife, that must be about as fancy as they come. And it looked pretty good, so I bought it, and I've been really pleased with it. So these are kind of, those are the two main knives that I've been carrying. And interestingly, I have this it's called a guidesman, and this one is just, it's another kind of frame lock that I can open and close one-handed. It's kind of what I thought of as a routine knife. Thought it was pretty nice looking. How did I acquire? Well, interesting. I was out cycling and I found it laying along the road in the middle of nowhere one day, and so that's how I got it. And so that was kind of where I had in my mind. You had this felt like a pretty basic knife, and the Gerber, and then the Kershaw Blur. And that was pretty much where I was at. I did purchase this little Olitans folding scalpel, which is a frame lock style knife that is a flipper, which I find kind of fun. And I bought that maybe a month or two ago. And that got me thinking, oh, okay, if I have this really simple knife, it's kind of fun. What else is out there? And as I was kind of seeing things out on the web, it got me seeing all these other kinds of knives out there, and I went ahead and purchased several knives from another YouTuber. He goes by the handle of Knife Life EDC. I hope he doesn't mind me giving him a shout out here. And I've had this package now for, I guess, a couple of weeks, just sitting on it because I wanted to actually open it live to unveil the knives here to myself for the first time and handle them, because quite honestly, what you just saw me handling were what I would probably consider the best knives that I've handled in my own hands, period. Never been to a knife show, haven't really gone into any particular knife stores or anything like that. And so, I've been seeing people really love handling these things, and so I was kind of curious. And so this is my experiment to unbox some of these and see what we have. So I got 5 knives in here, and my goal today is just to open them. I'm not planning to cut anything with them just yet. That I'll save for another day. Right now I'm just going to try and get the feel for them. They're not necessarily mechanisms that I've handled. I'll kind of be just telling you this, firsthand, what my experiences have been in the past, and what I can tell you about the knives. I've got limited knowledge on these things here, but I like to think I've been progressing a little bit on the terminology. Let's see. So, got to get through everything here. Get this opened up. Oh wow, yeah. So we've got what do we got in here? We'll put the little Olitans aside, and in the box, let's see. I've got 2 boxes from Molsect, something from Vosteed, something from XEN-OAL, and let's see, you gotta make space for everything here. I've been watching enough of these YouTube videos. I should, in principle, know how this works, but honestly, I've never laid 5 box knives out on the front of me ever in my life, so there's a first. And we got something from a manufacturer called Kizer. All right, and if memory serves me right, if I think about based on price point, the order, I probably need to rearrange the order of these and say that the most budget of the knives would be the 2 Molsects, then the Vosteed, then I think it's pretty tough between the Oknife and the Kizer. So this is what we're going to take a look at, see what we find out. All right, let's put a few of these aside. Start with the Molsects. Kind of, again, calibrating myself, my little Olitans there. That one was maybe, I think you can buy them for about $19 or something like that, the little folding scalpel. All right, so which do we have here? Does the box have? Box doesn't say which knife is in it, so I know that I should have one called a Coastline and one called an Orbit. And let's make sure we're under the camera while we open this. I'll tell you what, let me get rid of my logo. So that's a little distracting, and see what we have here. All right, so got this nice little package. Put the other Molsect aside, and in there, what do we have? Now, I'm sure these unboxings have been done before. This is my own personal experience here. Keep that in mind. So, the little instruction package, a sticker, and we got a cloth. Oh, that's cool. A little pin from Molsect. It's a piece of paracord. Just some black paracord in the package. The person that I bought this from was careful to kind of keep all the packaging so that when they did decide, if they decided to sell it, everything was there. So, not the first one. I suspect this thing has made appearances in other videos, but there it is. So, it's black. It's got some good heft to it. not quite as I expected. So like, I've got my Kershaw Blur here, and I was, and looking at the size, I was expecting the Molsect to kind of have the heft of my Kershaw Blur, and it's actually feels significantly heavier. I don't have a balance or anything like that. That's interesting. It looks like it's a back flipper, no thumb studs there. Nice condition. Says the blade steel is 14C28N. So, can we bring that up there? I don't know if it'll focus. Anyway, that's okay. All right, so here we go. How does a modern flipper feel when it's deployed? Yeah. Okay. Can do that. Yep, got to give it a little bit more oomph. Okay. Works. Got the frame lock there. Keep the fingers out of the way. Can open it. Got the jimping on there. All right. Again, I'm not going to try and cut anything today with it, but I think I eventually will. I mean, my plan is to keep these things. Oh yeah, that's what a lot of people like to do, is kind of close it and see. Okay, that's definitely, once you get halfway, shakes down. All right. Cool. All right, well, let's put the gear off to the side, and we'll set that one down here. All right, so that's one of the Molsects. Which one is, well, the 14C, according to my notes here, this may be the Orbit, but I don't actually know what the blade steel is on the other one, which is called the Coastline. So I'm not sure which is which yet, and I'm not looking online to see. So we'll have to figure that out in a minute. So here's the other Molsect that I have. Another cloth. We got the coin. Paracord this time unopened, silica gel, some instructions, and a sticker, so very similar to the last one. There's the knife. Okay, this is going to be an interesting experiment for me. So in this particular case, this is what we call a front flipper. And, well, here's the deal, folks. This is the first time I've held a front flipper in my hand, so I don't even quite know what to expect. We'll see if I can successfully open it. I don't know, do I do it this way? I do it that way? I mean, everybody on YouTube does it this way. I'm a little afraid I'll be a little bit, light on it. Won't be able to get the flick quite right. Yeah, this is clearly going to take some practice. I mean, I can get it to the open position. Yeah, there we go. But, interesting. All right. So what's my immediate impression of this one? It's going to take some practice. Oh, I see. I got to, kind of rotate around. There's a little bit of nervousness on my part on this one because, unlike the first Molsect that has the flipper kind of as a protection here when I start the drop so I don't close the blade on myself, this this front flipper makes me feel just a little bit more uneasy when I go to close it, because I'm a little worried I'm going to slam it on my finger there. Now obviously I could go with this mode of closing, but still not too bad. Let's see what we can see on blade steel. Also a 14C28N. So, sorry, can't tell you now which is which. I'll have to look them up online, look some other videos to see which is the Coastline and which one is the Orbit. All right, cool. Now these I think are pretty budget, well under, they're kind of in the under $100 price category. So still snappier than what I've been working with in the past. So that's certainly interesting. All right. Well, that's 2 down. Number 3. So number 3 unboxing. So this is one that's known as the Vosteed Vombat, which actually was kind of interesting. I was excited when I saw this. This was one of the things that triggered me on this purchase. Was I had been looking at the Vombat online at Vosteed, and got the little sticker there. And they've been sold out, and I thought, well, they look kind of like a cool little knife, and this one was available. I thought, well, I'm gonna check it out. All right, so there we go. All right, so we got the case, and the box, the sticker. There's the pocket knife. It's kind of like an aluminum, pretty dark blue. It's interesting that whenever I've seen the pictures online, they look really bright. Even on my camera here, they look bright, but to my own eye in person, it's a much deeper, not quite navy blue, but quite a deep blue. So let's see. It's got both the thumb stud deployment there, and the one that I'm not particularly familiar with is the this action. Let's see. I know I can open it that way. Yeah, and I should be able to. Ooh, that's pretty smooth. And yep, you can open it. Yeah, the bearings, it runs really smoothly. I want to open it this way. I've never opened or never had a mechanism like this that was using the top locking mechanism there. So that's kind of interesting. And that one I can't really, personally I can't flip it. Yeah. I really like it. It's a smooth. It's pretty. One of the reasons I was kind of interested in this knife is I know it's possible. I don't have any yet, but you can get other scales. I was going to say handles, but scales for this thing and change them out. And I thought that might be kind of a fun thing to do. Learn how to take apart. I don't think I've ever taken apart a knife. So the fact that I can even do that'll be an interesting video someday. So, all right. So cool. We'll have to do some practice with it. Yeah, it's more meant, I think, to follow through or just open this way. But nice, smooth, Vosteed. Cool. I like it. Nice. Oh, actually, that's kind of cool too. We got that jimping all the way up at the point there. Well, I'll be interested. I know a couple of the YouTubers that really like to talk about that, and I've not really used the point on that. With this kind of, what would you call that? A Bowie type blade shape, and with the jimping all the way up on the tip. So that's kind of nice. Oh, we're gonna have some fun with this one once we get used to operating it. All right. All right, that's number 3. So all 3, I think, go into the budget category. Although the Vosteed here, I'm pretty sure that one is getting on the higher end. The Vombat's getting on the higher end of budgets. It might. I don't know if it's fair to call that budget knife. Because it depends on what your budget is. Then I've got this one from Oknife. Let's see what we got there. Let's move these up a little bit so we got room to work. So we got an Oknife. And what do we have in here? All kinds of little goodies. So we've got a little bag with a lanyard. Put that aside. And sure what. Oh, we got some extra screws here that are black, so I'm guessing maybe the ones in it are a slightly different color. We'll see. And then there's another little secret compartment down here that looks like it's got a little bit of literature and a wipe cloth. So literature and a wipe cloth, and some hardware, some screws. Gotta remember to stay on screen here. We'll put that off to the side. And here we have the knife. This one's a little bit on the higher end. This is a frame lock. Technically, this will be the first time I've handled any frame lock more sophisticated than this one. I mean, technically, this little Olitans T010 is a frame lock, and literally before I bought this thing, I had never even opened a frame lock. I don't know that I'd even heard of a frame lock 6 months ago. It tells you how much I knew about knives. So it's a pretty looking knife. Also, it's got the back flipper and the thumb stud. What I can tell you is, like, when I'm looking at heft of knives and I feel them, it's pretty light. I mean, it's a little bit lighter than the Vombat, and it's definitely lighter than either of the Molsects. So let's see how this flips open, right? So, ooh, yeah, that was snappy. That was even snappier than the little Olitans there. Finger, yeah, we can close it this way. Good push to about half. Oh yeah, that's kind of nice. Let's see what do we have on the blade steel on this one. So this one looks like it's an S45 VN. I'm still learning, and I know that's a better blade steel, but I'm still learning steel types. Got the frame lock. Closes easily. Yeah. Cool. All right. Now, what about left-handed side? Yeah, let's see, I can flip it this way. Works pretty well. Yeah, I get nervous when I close them left-handed because I'll close the blade in my finger. Technically, I'm left-handed, but I've been forced to do so many things right-handed. Most things work better right-handed for me these days anyway. All right, so that's number 4. And, all right, this one from Kizer is the 5th one. This one is something called the Kizer Varatas. And this one I just got because it looked like a pretty knife. And I never handled anything by Kizer, although to be fair, I mean, I guess I have handled something by Vosteed, maybe something by Oknife. Never anything before Molsect before today. All right, so on the Kizer, what do we got here? So I'm guessing this is a towel. Oh, some instructions and a towel. All right, and we've got the knife, the obligatory Kizer sticker, a little bit more hardware. Put the box and hardware side. Little bag for it here. Inside it, we got the knife. It's got a good heft to it. Got kind of nice blue here. Kind of like a mixed bluing there. All right, so this will be okay. So this one, we've got the front flipper, which we were learning about earlier, but a nice piece here that I think I'll have some luck with. Well, let's see. Let's start with the. Yeah, that's gonna take me some getting used to. I definitely can. Yeah, we're not. Yeah, we're not one-handed on this one quite yet. Okay, so another frame lock. Okay, you got to push it pretty good. Swings down pretty nicely. It's going to take me some practice on the flipper there. I guess I got to hold the knife a little bit further back. Ah, there we go. Huh. It's like you got to commit. If you don't commit, it doesn't go. But if you commit, it works pretty nicely. Interesting. This one. Yeah. That's a nice knife. Cool. And let's see. This one is this is S35VN. So we got an S35VN, S45VN. Let's see, the Vosteed Vombat is, oh, that's an M390 blade, and the other two are C14C28N. Well, these are going to be fun to work with. Yeah. Let's move this guy out of the way. But that one's got a quick action. It really wants to snap open. Yeah, if I can get the well, that one's going to take me a while to get it to snap open. I just don't quite have the mechanism worked out for me. Whereas I definitely got the back flipper. I think I understand that one. And sure, the Vombat, that one, nice and easy. All right. Well, hope you enjoyed my experiment. I certainly have. Maybe you're a little bit amused. This is what it looks like when somebody's kind of new to stuff. So what do we have there? So two frame locks. Those are the first frame locks of full knives that I've handled. Again, I had this one. We got the Vosteed Vombat. Pretty new to this mechanism too. I have handled a number of liner locks, although never one that was a flipper and either be a back flipper or a front flipper. So that's kind of fun. All right, so there you have it. If you enjoyed this content, check me out. I'll try and build some more videos in time, and I may put some affiliate links down below because nobody's paying me anything here, and if I happen to get a little bit, because people click on a couple links, it doesn't cost you anything, and maybe I get a little bit, and maybe it'll let me buy a few more. I don't know. If nothing else, I'll put a link to the Olitans down there. Most of these knives have been out there for a little while, so I'm sure you all know how to find them by other means. But today's goal was just to experience them firsthand. So, thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed the video.